Hello again, everybody. This is Scott at Comic Book Hangover. It is Thursday, and that means it's time for another weekly haul video. Now, this one, I'm not going to talk a lot about a lot of these books because I have a huge stack of books. This is from last week and from this week. Had a couple of big weeks. As I said on last week's video, I didn't have enough money to get everything, so a lot of stuff carried over to this week. So we're going to go through this stuff a little bit quickly. And there's also a couple of dollar box finds in here. Some stuff that I was very happy to finally find. So out of order, but cannot be ignored. The first one I grabbed I want to talk about is the Jim Cornette Presents Behind the Curtains Real Pro Wrestling Stories. I'm a big fan of Jim Cornette. He's one of my favorite managers, one of my favorite wrestling historians. I love listening to his podcast. I don't agree with the man's politics in the least, but I do love it when he says a few things political. But for the most part, he is a great source when it comes to BS-free, filter-free stories about professional wrestling, going behind the scenes, breaking kayfabe while respecting kayfabe. So anybody who's a fan of old school wrestling, anybody who's wanting to know some true stories, and especially if you're a fan of corny, this is a book to get. It's what's the cover price on this thing? It's like $17.99, $15 or $17, but it's a pretty thick book, and yeah, he hosts it and goes through the history of wrestling. So we're gonna put corny right there because that's a great book. This one here, it looks like it's missing one, but it's actually over the years they kind of moved down, so it's actually right here. It's a Ghost Rider Hero Caps. I think there's your like Pogs. I don't know. This is something I found. This is one of my dollar bin finds, and it was Ghost Rider. It's Midnight Sun, so I figured, what the heck? Why not? I'll pick it up for $1. So for my regular books, Absolute Carnage, Lethal Protectors #1. Now, as anybody who's watched my video where I talked about Absolute Carnage #1 may remember, I was not a fan of it. I did not have very much fun with it. I thought the story was it was just there. It was overwhelmingly there. The art, though, out of the park. It was amazing art by Ryan Stegman, but the writing just, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm not as big of a fan as to the direction that Carnage is going in. I don't know. But, you know I'm in a minority. There was just something about the story that didn't click to me. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try to pick it up and trade later on. So, because it seems like an interesting idea, and they're bringing a lot of characters. So this one here I picked up because the cover that I picked up for Absolute Carnage #1 I grabbed because it was a variant cover for Demogoblin, a female version of the Demogoblin, and this was her first appearance. So I figured, I should definitely pick this up. And what was kind of weird about this one is it shows Cloak, Dagger, Iron Fist, and Morbius on the cover, but they're actually not in the book at all. So it's kind of weird. But it's the origin of Demogoblin. I'm sorry. Yeah, Demogoblin. Sorry, I got to get used to. She doesn't like being called Demogoblin. So you find out where she came from, who she is, and she just falls right in with Carnage, just like Demogoblin fell in with Carnage back in the Maximum Carnage storyline. So, nice cover, great story. She's a really interesting character. I think I'm gonna follow her. So I might end up buying the rest of this just because if she's in it, I'll buy it. So this week's one of this week's books was the first of a handful of Alterna books. I'm a huge fan of Alterna comics. You get a full comic book, full color, on newsprint for $1.50. Now, all their books are miniseries, anywhere from 3 to 6-issue miniseries. They run the gamut of different genres, so pretty much whatever you're into, whatever sort of genre you're into. If you like action adventure, if you like sci-fi, if you like apocalypse, if you like comedy, if you want kid stuff, Alterna Comics has something for you. They are, they're pretty much one of the only comic book fan-friendly publishers on the market today. And I always love it when I get on Alterna Week. So, Actual Roger, this is actually one of those all-ages books. It's about Roger who he has a power of being able to fly about this far off the ground, and he ends up with this rather, I don't know, goofy superhero. He's not as dumb as the Tick, but he's on his way. But it's a fun little series. Plus, the one part about this book that's really kind of throws a wrench in things is he's a kid's sidekick, and one thing we've never really seen before with a kid's sidekick is Child Protective Services getting involved. So when you get Child Protective Services involved, things kind of go loopy. So that was the first of a couple of Alterna books that I grabbed this week. Another Alterna book was Adventures of Mr. Crypt and Baron Rat, number 1 of 3. I'm assuming this is going to be kind of an anthology series. Baron Rat and Mr. Crypt. This is a humor series. It's good for everybody. It's just good, clean, sort of non sequitur humor. Sort of, tongue-in-cheek, nudge-nudge, wink-wink sort of stuff. So if you're looking for something lighthearted and fun with a really cool Bigfoot monster in it, Mr. Crypt and Baron Rat, definitely check it out. It's only $1.50. What do you got to lose? All right, now DC is getting into the Facsimile edition business. They had 2 releases. This is the release that came out this week, Batman number 181, the first appearance of Poison Ivy. And these ones I'll pick up just like I pick up the Marvel Facsimile editions because I like having access to these great classic stories. I haven't read it yet, but I am going to read this one along with the other DC Facsimile edition book that I picked up this week. So I'm looking forward to reading that. Blood Realm number 303. And if you're looking for something that's really dark, I mean this series just has mood and just darkness oozing off the page. The artwork that you see on the cover is the same kind of artwork you get inside. I mean, this is a book for people who really like dark comics. This is the 2nd volume as the final issue of it. So altogether, there's six books so far in the series. Definitely worth a read. This is really one of my favorite Alterna books. Deceased, A Good Day to Die, one shot. Had to grab the face cover because that's what I'm grabbing for the main series. This one you've got, Miracle Man and Big Barda trying to figure out how to put an end to this thing. They know it comes from Apocalypse. They go to Apocalypse. Apocalypse is not there anymore. It's been destroyed. So they try to come up with other plans, other ideas. Just what are you going to do? How are we going to end this thing? And needless to say, it doesn't turn out well for pretty much anybody. Death's Head number 2. I grabbed the connecting variant last week or the week before. This one is the regular cover for issue 2. This is an homage cover to the original Death's Head number 1. So, I'm going to buy it. It's Death's Head. I love some Death's Head. DC is also getting into the $1 reprint game that Marvel has had huge success with their True Believers line. They are calling theirs Dollar Comics. And this is the first one, Detective Comics 854, featuring Batwoman. And I'm going to be honest with you, I almost didn't buy this one. I have absolutely no interest in a book that has that's a reprint, but doesn't feature anything from the original cover. They're using this to promote this TV show. And I'm not going to say what I think about it, other than the fact that I have no interest in the TV show. I love the character of Batwoman, but what they're doing in the show, I don't really care for. So I almost didn't buy this one because the original cover for this issue was an amazing cover, and to sort of downgrade it for this was a bad idea. So and I'm just going to say this right now: if DC makes this a habit of changing the covers this dramatically, I will not be picking up any more of their dollar comics. Their Facsimile books, though, I will continue to pick up. Especially this one here, House of Secrets, number 92, first appearance of Swamp Thing, an amazing Bernie Wrightson cover, one that I have looked at for many, many years and just have just an amazing, just in awe. I'm just amazed by this cover. It's just an iconic, gorgeous cover. And yes, I know it's not an original, but I can still say I have at least a copy of this in my collection, and I can take it out and look at it whenever I want. Another one from Alterna Comics, in case you missed it, everybody should pretty much know that. Here it is again. This is the third issue of the 4-part Trespasser series. Now, what this series is for Alterna, for those of you who may not know, is while Alterna does have really cheap books, they do go for $1.50. This is a reprint series that they do for some of their older stuff. Stuff they did in like 2017, early 2018, and they do these for 99 cents. So you get get some great covers, you get great stories, just like they had originally. Only you're paying 99 cents. So really, there's no reason not to check this series out. So Trespasser, Apocalypse series, father and daughter are trying to survive, and an alien gets involved, and it really does not go the way you think it would. Seriously, you got to read it. Invader Zim, number 46. I cannot believe we're getting so close to issue 50 on this series. I'm still a few issues behind on this one, but this weekend I'm hoping to be able to catch up. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, number 42. This is the foil variant. I've been getting all of these. I think it's actually only the third one, so it's not really that big of an accomplishment. But so far, I have them all, and this is just a beautiful. These covers are beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Monsters #1. This is a book I wasn't going to pick up. The whole idea of Kid Kaiju really didn't interest me for the longest time. But then I saw this variant cover. I'm a huge fan of Japanese monster movies, huge fan of Godzilla movies, and this is a really kind of a heartfelt homage to those movie posters and those movies. And it has a really cool Swamp Man thing on it. Sorry. And so I picked it up. I read it. It's pretty decent. They do reference Elsa Bloodstone, so I might check out some of the older monsters. I think it's Monsters Unleashed is what Kid Kaiju was in. So this might have won me over to the character, hopefully. Dollar books. This one and the next one. This is the first one that I saw. Silver Sable, #18. This is from the 1992 series. But there was an issue. This is issue 18 and issue 19. Issue 19 crossed over with the Midnight Suns Siege of Darkness storyline. And I have looked for that book for years and I could not find it anywhere. So I was flipping through my store's dollar bin just on a whim and came across this. Like, what are the odds that they're going to actually have issue 19 after all these years of finding it? The next one was issue 19, Siege of Darkness crossover. I paid $1 for it. It is now in my collection. Accomplishment achieved. I'm so excited about having this book. I know it's probably nothing to anybody else, but this is an accomplishment for me. This is the book that I've looked for years, and I'm so happy to have it. So happy to have it. Something is Killing the Children. That's actually the name of the book. This is the cover. There was only 2 variant covers available in my LCS by the time I got there. This is the one that I liked out of the 2. This is a story about a small town that the woods around the town. There's something in there that's taking children and killing them in rather graphic and gory and violent ways. And they kind of show some of the stuff in the book. And this gal here, I cannot remember her name to save my life. And I'm real sorry, but I cannot remember her name. But she shows up. She's a monster hunter. And she decides that she's going to take this thing out. Now, this is a 5-issue miniseries from Boom Comics, I believe. And it's actually a really nice, dark, fun read. I didn't really expect too much from it, but you know what? I think I'm going to stick for this one for the 5 issues. I'll be adding this one to my pull list next week when I go to my local comic shop. Stranger Things 6, #4 of 4. This wraps up a prequel story. Some of the kids that were part of the program before 11, and pretty much that's it. Moving on. Transformers Ghostbusters, #4 of 5. More Ghostbusters, more Transformers, fun. I mean, this is a really well written, well drawn series, so I'm enjoying it. But this video is getting kind of long, so we're just kind of move on. True Believers. 2 books for True Believers this week. We got the Head of Banner and an Intelligent Hulk. This DC, don't anybody from there who's listening, but this is closer to how you should do your dollar comics. You keep the original cover. Have a banner across the top. The only thing Marvel does that kind of screws these up is they change the titles. This should still have the Incredible Hulk logo on it, and maybe something across the bottom or something that says Head of Banner or something. I don't know. But Marvel, you're still doing a pretty decent job with these. I'm glad you're still continuing with them, and I now definitely have over 100 of these. So, and man, some great covers. In fact, these classic Marvel books have some great covers. Unit 44. #4 of 4, a lot of 4s there, from Alterna Comics. This was a hilarious series. I had the graphic novel that came out first. This one I picked up just because it's a full-size comic, and it has some covers to it. So it's it's kind of a Men in Black type series. So if you're digging that sort of thing, I would definitely recommend Unit 44. Really fun series. And finally, The Wicked Righteous Exodus. This kid is freaking nuts. The series is great. This is Terry Mayo's little creation, and I'm really digging it. They're only halfway through this series, and I really have no idea what's going to happen, who's going to survive. This is sort of a dark, violent, post-apocalypse series where grown-ups, a lot of them get sick and die. So there's more kids than grown-ups, and there's just some really twisted people. It's a great little series. So now let's check out. It is first of the month, so I did change my posters and my prints. We're going to check those out, and we're going to check out the wall. So for the posters, we've got this classic-looking SpiderMan versus Venom. This is the J. Scott Campbell poster. This was a variant cover for Amazing years ago, but I could never get the book. couldn't get the original cover, so I got the poster instead. And over here, next to where I kind of have a bit of a new setup here, we got Mighty Thor, the Jane Foster. This was a variant cover. I loved that cover. I love the beginning of the series. And when they saw they did a poster for this one, I had to grab it. And next to this one is my favorite poster. Oh, man. Death's Head poster. Thank you to my LCS. Thank you to Nostalgia Inc. for getting this poster. And, man, I'm glad I was there in time to put my name on it, because this is an amazing poster. I absolutely love this. And this is going to be going up on my wall quite often. And then on the door, this is the door that actually goes outside. We've got Deadpool from one of the many first issues of Deadpool. I think he's got another first issue going out. But this one, I mean, is what's going on here? But it's crazy. It's Deadpool. I gotta love it. Okay, let's check out the wall. So we got these prints up now. Batgirl, not Batgirl. This is Batman Adventures number 12. I actually used to have that book, greater than 9.6. Needed some money, so I sold it off. Silver Surfer Transformers, the movie. And we've got some Lady Death from Dan Mendoza. So here is the wall this week. No She-Hulk. No She-Hulk this week, because I had a lot of books to check out. So, again, as I always say, you know, check out something new when you go to your LCS. Like this. That right there. Something is Killing the Children was a book I was not expecting to like at all. Monsters was not a book I was expecting to like at all. And I think I may be adding both of those to my poll. Actually, Something is Killing the Children is definitely going to be added to my poll list. It's only a miniseries. Monsters, I'll check out the next issue, see what's going on with that. But, you know, there's some great books out there. Everybody's putting out some amazing product right now. Some of it will be huge hits for people. Some of them not so. But it's always a good idea to give everything a chance. Give everything a try. Deceased is a lot of fun. The Absolute Carnage was a miss for me, but I may end up enjoying this Lethal Protectors miniseries. Power Rangers, always a lot of fun. Alterna Comics always delivers for me. Blood Realm, Wicked Righteous, some great stuff. So, you know, when you go to your LCS, always ask them if they've got anything that they would recommend for you and try something new. Dig into their back issues, see if you can find something cool back there. Like I finally found an issue that I've been looking for years in a $1 box. It's awesome. Anyway, we'll see you guys on Sunday with a Signature Sunday video. Thanks for watching, and as always, you know, like, subscribe, make a comment, share the video, and you know, have a good time and enjoy your comic books. I hope everybody had a great new comic book week this week. See you on Sunday.